Yeah, I can.
Oh, you didn't have to record video. I don't want to share the record video. So I was saying, high two is lower than what high one. High three is lower than high two. High four is lower than high three, and high five is lower than what high four. So when you have price creating new highs that are lower than the previous highs, automatically you're no longer thinking uptrend. You have to start thinking what downtrend, because I told you that what that when you see something going downwards, you have to what, relate it with words like lower, down, decrease, right? So which means in this case now, we're going to identify the highs and the lows as what? As lower highs and lower lows. Because why? Price is moving downwards, so creating what? A downtrend. And then the last type of market structure, you can see that price is not the new highs are not going above the previous highs. Neither are the new highs going below the previous, neither are the new lows going below the previous lows. They are all what, in similar location. So they're all what, equal. It's just like in this case of a downtrend now, let's say the high one is what, the high one in this case is what, let's say in your family now, you guys are what, five children, and you're what, you're the eldest child, the first child, right? And so you are the first child. This is you. Yeah, you would agree with me that every other child that your mother will give birth to, they will be what, they will be lower than you. You would always have to be what, the first child. The second one will be lower than you in status. The third one will be what, lower than you, because they came after you, right? They came after you. The fourth one will be what, lower than you, than the third one. The fifth one, that's the last born, will be lower than what, the fourth born. So in a downtrend, that is how it is, from first born to last born. Fifth born can never be higher than the first born, right? Except there's a problem. You understand? Why for the downtrend? It's just like twins giving birth to children at almost the same time, right? You give birth to five children on the same day, or three children on the same day, meaning that they are what, they are all equal highs and equal lows. I gave a case scenario. I give an example of the ceiling and the ties jumping at similar heights. You're going to what, create equal highs and equal lows, because you're not going above, neither are you going what, below. All right. So this is like a rough mashup on this uptrend and downtrend and all of it. And then I mentioned the consolidation. I mentioned the concept of protection and targeting in the previous class, right? I'm sure a lot of you still remember when I talked about price rewards. When I talked about price, some levels are protected, and I said that some levels are what's targeted. Now, in an uptrend, I want you to see every level that price must go above or price must go below, right? See it as a targeted level. You understand? Then the ones that price must not go below them or price must not go above them, I want you to see it as what? As a protected level. So protected levels are those ones that price shouldn't go above. Why targeted levels are those ones that price should take out. I gave a case scenario in the previous class where I talked about imagine um, someone that is praying or asking God for protection, right? You want to leave your house and you ask, like, you're talking to God and you're like, oh God, please what? Guide and protect me. That guide and protect me, you're saying, is that what you don't want evil to come what, to come close to you. You understand? You're anticipating that any weapon fashioned against you will not prosper. It will not cross you. Do you understand? So this concept of protection means that the new highs for every level that is being protected, the new highs or new lows that price will form, we're looking at what price does not take out those protected highs and lows, right? No matter what happens, we're anticipating that the price does not take out those areas of protection. In an uptrend, it is the lows that are protected. Since the lows will not go below the previous lows because they're called higher lows. So it means that those lows are levels of protection because price is anticipated not to go below them, meaning that the previous low is safe from the new low because no matter what happens, the new low will not take it out, right? And then what do they call this? For a downtrend, it is the highs that are protected. Remember that the lows are protected in an uptrend. You can see this is low 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? And then you can see that low 2 did not take out low 1. Low 2 did not kill low 1. So you're anticipating that you're now going. So low 2 is what? Low 2 is a protected low. Low 1 is protected from low 2. Low 2 cannot take 1 out. So the 1 is protected from 2. Low 3 cannot kill 2, right? So low 3 is what? Protected from 2. So long as it cannot go below it, it is what? Protected. But you can see that low 2 went what? Above high 2, sorry, went above high 1. It took it out. It killed it. Whatever you can classify this concept of price going above this high as, it's targeted it and it took it out, right? So in an uptrend, the lows are protected while the highs are what's targeted. In a downtrend, the lows are what's targeted because price must go below them. Price must go below them. Price must go below them. 5 must go below 4. 4 must go below 3. 3 must go below 2. Right? So which means that in a downtrend, the lows are what's targeted. Why the highs are what's protected? Why are they protected? Because high 3 can never go above high 2. It must not go above 2. 4 must not go above 3. 5 must not go what's above 4. So for a downtrend, for price to continue in a downtrend, it has to what? Keep creating protected highs and targeted lows. For price to continue in an uptrend, it has to keep creating what's targeted highs and protected lows, right? Now, since you understand that, okay, lows are what? Lows are protected, price should not go above them. And highs are what's targeted, price should always go above them in an uptrend. Highs that are protected in the downtrend, price should not go above them. Lows are targeted, price must go above them. Now, let me now ask you, what happens when price takes out a protected level in market structure? That is what we now call that is what we now call a change of character. I gave an example in the previous class where I talked about, let's say, let's give an example. Someone said they can't hear me. How is that possible? Stan, can you hear me?
Yeah, it's loud and clear.
Two people are complaining. Okay. If you can't hear me, can you put your hand up? If you cannot hear me, can you raise your hand? Okay, so I don't think anybody's hands up. For the people that can hear me, it's probably network, so try to fix that. As I was saying, so I gave an example in the previous class. I told you that imagine a case scenario whereby you have a friend, a best friend, right? And then this best friend, it can be anything. Let's say best friend, parents, for people that are of age, your spouse, like a partner, relationship or marriage wise, and all of that, right? And then this person is always like constantly calling you, constantly checking up on you, constantly making sure that everything is fine with you. Every day, they always do that. And then all of a sudden, you notice that these people no longer do these things that they do for sure, right? This is that they always do. They no longer do it again, right? So it's going to be like, what comes to your mind first is that these people are what, that this person has what changed, right? Since the person is no longer doing what you are used to the person for, what you know the person for. The first thing that comes to your mind is that, oh, no, this my friend has changed, their character has changed. This is not the person I used to know, right? So that is how it is on the chart, change of character. When price is moving in an uptrend, and all of a sudden he wants to start moving in a downtrend, it has changed his character, right? He does no longer want to, he doesn't want to keep buying. He wants to now start selling. That is what, that is still change of character. So I want you to assume or understand change of character as well. Anytime that price takes out a protected low in an uptrend, so a protected low, I told you that the lows in an uptrend are what are protected lows. So anytime the price takes out a higher low in an uptrend or takes out a lower high in a downtrend, a change of character has occurred. So anytime that price goes what, that price goes below a higher low, remember that it must not go below normally. Five must be higher than 4, which means that 6 must be higher than what, 5. So when price decides that low 6 will be lower than low 5, this is a change of character. Remember that I emphasized in the previous class as well that for every time the price takes out a high or a low, a change of a break of structure has occurred, right? Which people call BOS. So just look at this change of character as well. Price breaking structure to the upside and coming to break it to the downside. This is what it looks like visually, right? So whenever price takes out a protected level, which is what, a higher low in an uptrend, this is a change of character. But then this change of character is not like a sign for you to just start buying. It comes with a change in the direction of price, which means that when you see a change of character and price was in an uptrend, you start with anticipating a downtrend. Or when you see a bearish change of character and price was what, a very market structure and price was in a downtrend, you start anticipating price to buy, right? So what I'm trying to say is that whenever you see this change of characters, they usually come with what, a change in the direction of price. If price was in an uptrend before you see them, and then they form, what comes to your mind is that price is about to start selling, but it is unconfirmed yet. And I went ahead to say that for you to confirm a change of character and the price has changed its trend, just like for you to confirm that your friend has changed, for them not to call you for 2 days, right? Is when they do it again, right? When they do it again, that's when you say that, okay, this person has truly changed. It's the same thing for this change of character. You need to what? You need to see price put in another break of structure. In this case, it's going to be what, a lower high and a lower low. If price was in an uptrend, but if price was in a downtrend, you need to see and price changes character by taking out what, a lower high, that is a protected level. You need to see price create what, a higher low and a higher high, which is what, a break of structure to the upside, to confirm that, okay, price has what, changed character to become what, bullish, or a break of structure to the downside to say that what, price has changed character to become what, to become bearish. This is what the change of character looks like. It usually constitutes a change in the direction of price, but it is an unconfirmed change in the direction of price, which means that you need to see what, an extra break of structure to confirm that price has truly changed its trend, right? So I think this is like the sum up of what we've done. I would have gone into chart examples now, but then that is what we're going to do in today's class, right? Marking out examples on the chart. But let's look at some things. If you look at this point now, let's start from this particular low here. Let's start from this low here. If you look at this point now, this is a low, and what? This is a high. This is another low. If you look very closely, you see that this new low, it did not go below the first low. This is our low one. This is our low two. Can you notice that low two did not go above low one? Did not go below low one. Does that mean? That means that what? That low two is a higher low because it is higher than what? Low one. This is high two. And this is high one. Can you see that high two did what? High two went above high one, which means that high two is what? A higher high because it is higher than what? High one. This is low three. Can you see that low three did not go below low two? It is higher than low two, which makes it what? A higher low. High three is higher than what? High two, which makes high three what? A higher high. This is low four. Can you see that low four is still higher than what? Than low three. And this is high four. Can you see that high four is still what? Higher than what? High three. Which makes what? High four what? A higher high. Because it is higher than what? High three. Because high three is what? Higher than high two. Because high two is higher than what? High one. And because low one is what? Low four is higher than what? Low three. And low three is higher than low two. Low two is higher than what? Low one. This is what? This is price in an uptrend. This is where you can see that what price is in an uptrend. When you go to the chart and you are able to what map out highs that are higher than what the previous highs and lows that are what higher than what the previous lows. That is when you say that what price is what in an uptrend, just like that. When price keeps was creating series of what, lower and higher highs and higher lows. You can see that the same thing is what happened here again. We had what low one, we have low one, we have low two, we have low three, low four, low five, we have what low six, we have high one, sorry, we have high one, high two, high three, high four, we have what high five at this point, right? If you look at this now, you can see that low two higher than low one, three higher than two, four higher than three, five higher than four, six higher than five, two higher than one, three higher than two, four higher than three, five higher than four. When you have price creating series of what? Higher lows and higher highs, just like this. This is exactly what the uptrend looks like on the chart, right? The same thing for the downtrend. Let me look for a downtrend movement in gold because it has been buying for like a long while now. Let's look for when price was in a downtrend, right? Okay, I have something here now. If you look at what happened here now, we had a low, we had a high, we had a high here, a low here, a high here, a low here, a high here, a low here, a high here, and what? A low, a high here, a low here, a high here, a low here, this high, and then what? This low at this point, right? Now, if you look at this now, price has been creating what? Price has been creating highs that keep going below the previous ones, right? At this point, highs that was lower than the previous one. You can see that this second high did not go above the first one. The third one did not go above the second one. The fourth one did not go above the third one. The second low did not go above what the next one. You can see that the second low is what lower than the first low. The third low is what lower than the second low. The fourth low is what lower than the third low. So when you have price creating this series of what, lower highs and lower lows, lows that are lower than the previous one, and highs that are what, lower than the previous one, that is what the downtrend looks like, right? So I don't want you guys to be faster than the normal class. So when we get to today's class, we're going to mark out market structure for a particular pair, and then you see more examples and more examples on the change of character. But for now, I need to know if anybody has any question. Just put your hands up. If there's something you don't understand. Okay, good evening, David. Check if you can unmute yourself.
All right, good evening. Please, my
Yeah.
question is just based on the aspect of the pullback. Yesterday on the last class, you said that for a pullback to be valid, it needs to have like 4 candles retracing to the opposite side. Like, I want to ask if the candles, like if we're in an uptrend and the retracement is supposed to be to the downside, is it compulsory that it must be bearish candles or bearish and bullish at the same time to
It's
confirm the
not compulsory.
full?
See, it's not even what I meant by that pullback. The reason why I had to involve candlestick so that people actually understand that it has to be significant. Like if you look at the examples that is on the chart, you can see that the, the retracement move from this high here now to this low. You can see the retracement move was very obvious. Do you understand? What I'm trying to say is that the pullback should be an obvious pullback. Like if you look at this next higher low before this higher high, can you see that the pullback was what? It was very obvious. We had what about 1, 2, 3, 4 candlesticks that are forming it. So it has to be what? It has to be very obvious pullbacks. Like between here and here now, the pullback is what obvious. Not like you have something like this and then price does something like this and then you're like, this is a new higher low. Do you understand? It has to be what obvious pullbacks. That is what I mean. So depending on the candlestick sizes, different candlesticks number can form those things. Do you understand? It can be it can, no matter what is more than what you're adding to what make that pullback. What I'm emphasizing is that it has to be what significant that price actually pulled back. All right. Good evening, Trisha.
Hi, good evening.
All right.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, please go ahead. I can hear you.
Okay, please can you show us what break of structure looks like on the charts?
Oh, okay. So for every time the price goes above a high or a low, that is what the break of structure is. So you see, let me just give me a moment to play my chart. So remember this point that where's the point I was marking out as my highs and my lows? Okay, let me just use this one now. So if you remember this point, okay, this is a new point, we can work with this. Let me map out the market structure first. We have what? We have a higher low, and we have what? We have a higher high. And then this is the lowest point that price came to before creating what? A new high. So the moment that price takes out a high like this now, you can see that high 2 has gone what? Above high 1. This is a break of structure. The moment price puts in a new high in an uptrend or puts in a new low in a downtrend, this is a break of structure in OS. And then you have what? You have this new low, which is our next higher low because it is the lowest point before this new high, right? Which is high 3. So the moment high 3 went above high 2, this is where this was the highest point high 2 go to. So the moment high 3 went above what? High 2, that is what we call a break of structure. And then this is what? This is the next low. This is what? Low 3, because this is the lowest point that price got to before what? Creating a new high at this point. Or sorry, at this point, this is a new high, right? So which means that the moment high 4 went above high 3, we have what? We have what? A break of structure. So whenever price puts in a new high in an uptrend, it actually breaks structure. And in the case of a downtrend, you can see here we have what? Here we have a lower high, or let me see. Okay. So something like this now, we have what? We have a high at this point, and and we have what? We have a low at this point. We have a high at this point, a high that is what? Lower than the previous high. And we have what? A low that is what? Lower than the previous low. You see, the moment that this new low, which is low 2, goes below low 1 in a downtrend, it is called what? It is called a break of structure. The moment that low 3, this is the next low because this is the next high, the highest point before the new low. So the moment that low 3 goes below low 2 in a downtrend, this is what? A break of structure. So whenever price takes out these levels of highs and lows, highs in an uptrend, lows in a downtrend, a break of structure has occurred. Trisha, are you clear? Maybe you were the one that asked that question.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am clear.
Good evening, Lumi. Can you hear me?
Hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, so my question is okay, so on the 4 hours frame, because I'm
What
on
did you say?
I said on the 4 hours time frame, on the 4 hour time frame that you see that you recommend for us to use. So I use my trading view on my laptop. So I noticed that whenever I kind of zoom in, it's different when it's not like different like that, but when I zoom in, it's more it shows the candle more than when I zoom out, like when I'm trying to like see the end of the this thing of the charts. So I sometimes I kind of see like maybe the trend of the market is maybe like bearish, is going down. But when I zoom out, it's kind of show a different this thing. So
Zoom
I'm
in
trying to
and
like,
zoom out as how?
what do you say?
I said zoom in and zoom out how?
Okay, what I'm saying is when you zoom in, like when in on a 4 hours time frame, when you like zoom to the this thing and you're trying to pick your you're trying to pick your high and low. Then when you zoom out again, then you get to see that maybe on the zooming in, you can see maybe the thing is going like bullish. Then when you zoom out, you see like it's going bearish. Does that kind
This
of
is
thing happen?
this is my 4 hours time frame now.
Okay.
This is my 4 hours time frame now. So I've zoomed out. This current trend you're seeing here now. This
Mhm.
current trend you're seeing here. What does it look like?
It looks like it's going up. So that's bullish.
Okay. Now I've decided to zoom out. What does it still look like?
So it still looks like bullish.
Exactly. So long as it is made up of higher highs and higher lows, no matter
Mhm.
where you zoom to, if you like zoom outside, if you like leave your house or whatever, it's still going to be what? It's still going to be bullish. Do you understand? The highs and the lows does not change because you have zoomed. Do you understand? And
Yeah, I get
also
you. Okay.
the downtrend, what makes them up is higher highs and higher lows. For the downtrend, lower highs and lower lows. So long as the lows are what higher than the previous lows and the highs are higher than the previous highs, no matter where you zoom to, it's still an uptrend. You understand?
Okay, yeah, I get you. Thank you.
Um, Jiggy, you're gonna meet yourself.
Hi, sir. Good evening. So my question is, when I don't really know how to mark it out using this dotted line, but I normally use this part to mark it out.
Anything that makes it easy for you.
Okay, so when I marked it out, okay, so you're saying,
No, go ahead.
so when I marked it out, recently, gold and dollar, there was this break of structure because it was going bullish, then it came down. I asked that question, and you said my toolbox was blocking the highest high for it to see the highest high. So I wanted to ask if you go to the recent chart, there was this break of structure that happened. Then I asked if that was an unconfirmed change of character. Sorry, there was this change of character that happened, and I asked if it was unconfirmed.
Okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
let
yes.
me remind you of something, right? I told you that when a change of character happens, it is an unconfirmed change. Because sometimes it can be that price just wants to mitigate a level and continue buying, taking out the most recent higher low as what a form of inducement, just like what happened here. I'm sure that this was what you said as the change
No,
of
no, not no. Further to the right, the lowest low to the right.
this one,
No, 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 no. Forward.
this one.
This down. Yes, yes, yes.
As at this point, this did not really break this because it was more like how do I put this? It was more like a week taking it out. Do you understand? It didn't really like go below this thing. For somebody that would have had their setup here, right? Somebody that would have had their setup here, they would have covered this low just like this. Let's say something like this. So it wouldn't take them out. So I wouldn't really say that this has taken this particular higher low out. It didn't do that significantly. Do you understand? So at this point, I wouldn't consider this as a change of character. I don't know if you get what I mean.
Mm.
Yeah.
I don't know about the way you did it that showed setup and all, but I'm just trying to like
Yeah,
confirm
I
if that was
understand.
not.
I'm just saying like from the perspective of someone that is already trading. You understand? Like if
Yes.
this was set up here, the sweep was not significant. Like this is not significant enough to say that as at this point, price has broken structure. Do you understand? Because they are at very similar lows. This is not a valid break of structure yet. I don't know if you get what I mean now.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
This is one of the reasons why what do they call it? Weak as break of structures are not encouraged. Right? But even if we're going to use weeks as BOS, the ship is significantly broken, not something like this. Do you get me?
So I should consider the body of the candle more than the
Yeah, yeah, if you can. Until you get used to identifying proper weeks, yes, you can be using bodies. You
thank
understand?
you. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, I, I don't know how to pronounce this name. Okay, Enoch, can you hear me? You can unmute yourself.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening, bros.
I wanted to ask, is there a particular way to understand which higher high to actually mark and which lower low to actually mark? Because even from some of your examples that you just give on the chart right now, you actually marked some and then you had to make some few adjustments. So is there a specific way to know which higher high to mark or which higher low to mark? Is there a way?
Yes. So the thing is that um, let me just put this in the most simple way. Your higher low is the lowest point. The higher low is the lowest point that price gets before putting in a new high. The valid higher low, lowest point that price gets to before putting in what a new high. If you look at, let me say, I'm mapping out market structure from this point now. Let me look for something that has a lot of highs and lows or a downtrend. Okay, let me just say, let's map up on this. Okay, I think this has like too many to confuse. Okay, so let's say now that this is a higher low at this point. You agree with me that this is what a higher high. Now, why didn't I use this point as my higher high? Or why didn't I use this point? Okay, no, that one will not be among since this is the low. But why didn't I use this point as my higher high? Because after this high was created, price went as low as this point. So I'm going to be using the highest point that price got to before creating a new low. Your higher lows, your valid higher lows is your valid higher high, sorry, is the highest point that price gets to before creating a new low. And if you look in this case now, we have what? This was the point at which price broke structure when this higher high went above this previous high, when high 3 went above high 2. That is where we had what? A new higher high. So this is a valid higher high now because it has gone above high two. So where is now the higher low that created this? We have low one here, we have low two here, we have low three here, we have low four here, and we have low five here. So we have five lows here now. Which one is the valid higher low? The valid higher low in this case will now be the lowest of them all. The lowest point that price gets to before creating a new high is your valid higher low. So in this case, you can see that low three went below all of them. This is low three here, and it is lower than every one of them. So this is where you mark that as your valid higher low. Not here, not here, not here, not here, but here. Because this is the lowest point that price got to before creating what a new high. So this is your new higher low, right? So you will now map out the highest points that price gets to before a new low as your higher high, which in this case is what this point. So the highest point that price got to before creating what a new low, right? And you can see that again, you have what? You have low one here, you have low two here, you have low three here, you have low four here, before price putting what a new break of structure to create what another higher high. So which of these lows is now your valid higher low? Is going to be what the lowest of them all, which in this case is what number two, low number two. This is the lowest point that price got to before creating what a new high. So whenever you're mapping a market structure, it should be highest point that price gets to before a new low, lowest point that price gets to before a new high. I don't know if whoever asked that question, are you clear? Is it what's his name? What's his name again? Something Enoch, I think. Oh, okay, you probably don't know. Cynthia, I don't know if that's correct. Can you hear me? You can unmute yourself.
Good evening.
Good evening, please go ahead.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. I can hear you.
Okay. Ma, please go back to your chat so we will understand it very well. Okay, where you gave us example of higher highs, higher low. Okay, not really this one.
I think I cleared out that one. What's the question?
Okay, my question is, if we have a series of higher highs, higher lows, let's say from 1 to 5, and the next, like a change of character happened, maybe it came back to the low two, higher low. Is it possible to, like, is it possible that it will still go up from there, or it will start creating a lower low?
Okay, there are cases whereby price is just trying to sweep liquidity. Do you understand? There are cases whereby price is just trying to sweep liquidity. So it's possible that price takes out, like price creates a change of character and then still continue like without changing trade. That is why that confirmation is important. That is why I said that when a change of character is created, you need to see another break of structure. Let me say price was in an uptrend and then you place a change of character. You need to see another break of structure to the downside for you to say that okay, price is now changing from up to down, or price is in a downtrend and creates a change of character. You need to see another break of structure to the upside for you to say that price is now changing from down to up. Because there are times whereby you can change that character and still continue that same trend. In that case, you say that you just wanted to sweep liquidity from the low. That's the previous low, right? So yes, there are cases where change of characters can be created without a change in trend. That is why for you to assume that a trend has changed, you need to see what you need to see another break of structure in the direction of that change for you to conclude that it has changed trend. Okay. Give me your up again. Also, Okay. Big John, good evening.
Hello, Star. Good evening.
Right.
Yeah, my question is this: a scenario whereby we have low three, which just broke structure, and there's another that is coming down, and it takes out the new low takes out low three, all right, and that new low goes ahead to break structure. Will that new low that broke low three now become the new low three, or will it be low four?
Okay, it will become the new low three. You understand? It's going to continue the trend, so it's still like low three. So long as price decided to put in a higher high, meaning that was the lowest point before that new high, right? So it's still like a valid higher low. You understand? Are you clear? You can unmute yourself.
Okay, so it means that that one that took the new low three and broke structure will still continue to be the new low three.
Yes. It is still continue to be. So long as it puts in a new high.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
Sam. Sorry, I don't know who that guy is. Sam Wadoski, what's that? Let me see if I can trace you. Please put your hand up again. All right. You can unmute yourself now.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yeah, I want to make a confirmation that our lower low, is it the red candle that we are going to mark?
The lower low.
Yes.
I told you that when price goes below a this thing, a lower low has been created now. But let me look for a downtrend. Give me a minute. Let's say something like this now. This is what an example with a lower low here, a lower high here, and a new lower low. So when price goes below this, whenever price goes below this, that low point is your new lower low. Do you understand?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's usually red candles because it's red candles that are going to the downside. For the option, it's usually gray candles because it's gray candles that are going to the upside. Are you clear? I don't know. Okay. Mayor, good evening. You can meet yourself.
Good evening. Please, I would like you to like show more example on coach on the chat, please.
When we get to today's class, as I'm mapping out this layer, so you're going to see it. In the next one,
All right. Thank you very much.
Leroy Jar, or I don't know. You can meet yourself. Leroy Jar. Okay. C-Mix, I mean Timex, I don't know. You can meet yourself.
Hello, good evening. Can you hear me, please?
Yeah, I can hear you. Good evening.
Okay, please. You made mention of something about targeted. I think is it targeted level or something.
Mm-hmm.
Please, I want you to explain what it means because I didn't hear you the other time because of my network.
I said that the highs in an uptrend are targeted because they must take out the previous one. Why the lows in the downtrend are targeted? Because they must take out what the previous ones. If low 2 must go below low 1, it means that the lows are targeted. If high 2 must go above high 1, it means that the highs are targeted. So for uptrend, the highs are targeted, the lows are protected. For downtrend, the highs are protected and the lows are targeted. Do you get that?
Yes, thank you.
That means good evening. You can unmute yourself.
All right, good evening.
Yeah.
Yeah, my question is, can we have 2 consecutive charts?
Yes, that can happen. It rarely happens. Like it rarely happens, but it can happen. Like if you're mapping like a very far range of data, You can see that happens. It really happens when it does happen. Okay, crypto interest. I think I mistakenly put your hand down. You can unmute yourself now.
Okay, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, please, can you explain the breakup structure again with an example? I didn't quite get it.
I don't know what's the problem with this breakup structure. I said that whenever price goes above, did you attend this class from the beginning? I'm very sure that you didn't. You joined late, right?
You said?
I said, did you attend the class from the beginning?
Yes, but my network is misbehaving.
This is an uptrend. This is high 1. This is high 2. This is high 3, high 4, and high 5. So whenever high 2 goes above high 1, that is a break of structure. When high 3 goes above high 2, that is what a break of structure. When 4 goes above 3, it is a break of structure. When 5 goes above 4, it is a break of structure. And even if 6 is created and 6 goes above 5, it is what? A break of structure. So when price puts in new highs in an uptrend, that is a break of structure. And when price puts in new low in a downtrend, since once 2 go below 1, break of structure, low 3 go below low 2, break of structure in a downtrend. So whenever price is putting in new lows in a downtrend, that's what we call the break of structures. Okay, this last person.
Thank you.
Boy, I don't know, but I'll meet yourself.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
I've been failing to understand how I can confirm if a series of higher highs and higher lows is a strong trend continuation rather than a reversal.
You're going to have to repeat yourself because I didn't answer.
How can I confirm if a series of higher highs and higher lows is a strong trend continuation rather than a reversal? Sorry?
How can you confirm that series of higher highs and higher lows is what?
Is a strong trend continuation.
I've never mentioned change continuation since I started teaching about it.
No.
Okay, so where's the question coming from?
I've been just trying to understand. Like you mentioned, low, like a series of.
Let me tell you something. For this particular class, I'm assuring you that the way that I drafted it is in the most easy way possible. That, to be honest, I can probably tell that it's only lazy people that would miss out on this class. This is to assure you that even the things you know before will still be emphasized, even if we've not talked about it now. We'll definitely talk about it later. Do you understand? When you start bringing chain continuations are not even supposed to be under market structure. They come under demand and supply. When you start talking about order flow and the rest of it, right? Without disruption, order flow disruption and everything, that is when you start talking about chain continuations. So they're not even under market structure. And that is why I don't appreciate asking questions outside of what I have taught. Do you understand? So just wait until we get there. We will definitely get there. So why the rush?
Okay, I'm sorry, ma'am.
Okay, so I think that's all for all the hands that are raised up